I'm Garvan Walsh is my name. I have two daughters who've gone through the academy. I suppose the girls were very driven and they wanted to really achieve in their Leaving Cert. So the initial thing was education and who's going to get the best out of them. They both wanted to do well. We went to an introduction night in the academy. We thought it was a very open but also very focused. So that really appealed to us and appealed to Tilly, who was first up. The main questions we had before we sent Tilly here was obviously the standard of teaching, but we sort of knew that was very good from talking to other people, and also the facilities. Would she be able to mix, because there's a lot of kids coming together that are all sort of thrown in the first week, and so would she settle in, because she was coming from a boarding school. I mean, don't get me wrong, it took a couple of weeks to settle in, but all of a sudden she didn't just, like a traditional school, would have a set group. She actually was friendly with most people, you know, so it was a very good environment. They all mixed together and it didn't care, you know, who you were or where you were from, so it really worked well. She had many different friends and she really blossomed. Kids who wanted to succeed will do really well in the academy, and in fairness, I know from stories from Tilly and Florrie that if kids were messing, they were soon encouraged to, you know, either get their act together or move on. So the environment was a work ethic, even though it was relaxed. Everybody was really keen to do well. Whenever I was in the place, which wasn't that regular, but I must say the atmosphere was very welcoming. It was a very nice atmosphere in the place, and actually I know of a client who lives around or works around the corner, and he always said to me, "God, the kids coming out there always seem, you know, bubbly and full of life." So the quality of the teaching here was fantastic, and I'm being really honest when I say that. In the old school there were some very good teachers, but I'd say 30% of them were just not at the races. Every teacher here was, obviously they knew their course, but they really knew how to teach the kids and give the kids confidence, and that's really the big thing. My kids came out of here with a load of confidence and did the best they could have done. The teachers were so friendly, and they really set them at ease. They told them that they would take the pressure off the kids, and they really did do that. And I mean, the first names is a big difference rather than sir or whatever, and Mr. and this. The kids really enjoyed the environment, and even when it was come down to the last month or two in the Leaving Cert, before the Leaving Cert, I must say the teachers were absolutely excellent. I'd say after the January to March, the kids were getting really anxious, and then all of a sudden they started to relax because they had total faith in the teachers. And even Dave was so accessible to them online, you know, after hours, if they were really getting worried about things. And he was just, I'm just picking him as an example, but I must say Florrie said to me even recently that they put her at ease and they gave her huge confidence. So the anxiety wasn't there for Leaving Cert. She was actually looking forward to getting the thing done. I think Tilly in her old school struggled, and she struggled with confidence. When she came here, again, she was put at ease by saying, look, if you do X, Y, and Z, we will get you the best we can get you. And she really believed in that. And I suppose after the first 6 months, not saying there was a massive improvement then, but she could see that she could do it. You know, she could really do it. And I've no doubt Tilly got the best she could do. And she's not a 600-point kid, but she got really high results for her. And she got into college, and she would sit here in front of you today and say she would not have got into college without going to the academy. Florrie was more academic. She definitely blossomed here academically. It was just chalk and cheese. Her results were fantastic here the whole way through, and they weren't in her previous school. And Florrie's main impression is how friendly and how much confidence the academy gave her. And actually she has more friends out of the academy, even though it was only 2 years, than she has in her previous 4 years in boarding school. And they're all walks of life come here, and everyone just forced to mix, and Florrie has made some great friends, and she would never have met them unless she came in the academy. People have asked me because they would know my kids have come here, and I just recommend it so highly. I just said, look, I cannot recommend it highly enough. The teaching, the atmosphere, and the results with Tilly, and we'll see very soon the results of Florrie. So I've only good news to say, and I think it's a really good environment for the kids. If I was going to sum up the academy, I would say it is friendly, focused, driven, and competent. They know what they're at.